Okay, for a second, ignore whether you like or dislike Boris Johnson, whether you're a fan or you hate him because he's a liberal green hippie. Okay? This is about the Privileges Committee and the House of Commons going slightly tyrannical. Slightly. They've got a little bit authoritarian, as usual. So, they got the report into Boris Johnson whether he misled Parliament or not. That's been published. But the Privileges Committee are now becoming dictatorial. They're going to be punishing people, specifically, obviously, MPs in Parliament, members of the Privy Council, for example, if you call the committee a kangaroo court. They're going to be punishing and sanctioning people if you use words, because words hurt. It's absolutely insane. The reason we call it a kangaroo court is because the Privileges Committee is not a legal court, but they're acting like one. So we're saying it's a kangaroo court because it's not real. And now we are hearing this. In the report, point 14 said, in bringing forward our report, we note that the committee was instructed to carry out this investigation by the House on the 21st of April 2022 without a vote against. We further note that each of the committee's members were appointed to the committee by the House without division. Each member has done their duty on behalf of the House. Despite this, from the outset of this inquiry, there has been a sustained attempt, seemingly coordinated, to undermine the committee's credibility, and more worryingly, that of those members serving on it. The committee is concerned that if these behaviours go unchallenged, it will be impossible for the House to establish such a committee to conduct sensitive and important inquiries in the future. The House must have a committee to defend its rights. Then they say, and privileges. And it must protect members of the House doing that duty from formal or informal attack or undermining designed to deter and prevent them from doing that duty. We will be making a special report separately to the House dealing with these matters. So they say just because the House of Commons voted for them and for the creation of the committee and the members on it, you've given us ultimate power. Now we can do whatever we want with that power. And you cannot challenge us. You cannot question our duty and our conclusion and outcome of our reports and investigations. Are you kidding me with this? It's like saying we elected an MP and became Prime Minister and then we can't really challenge the Prime Minister anymore or call him names. So calling the Privileges Committee a kangaroo court is going to be a crime now, according to these guys. They're going to be sanctioning people. Earlier on, I sat down with the barrister Stephen Barrett, who's a truth teller, who always tells you the truth about legal matters. And this is what he had to say. The committee are now exercising, again, new made-up powers, I'm guessing, because some MPs, members of the Privy Council, have been criticising and calling him kangaroo court. It's their opinion, I guess. And they want to now sanction and punish people for using words. What do you think of that?
Well, I mean, I think this is all clearly tied up in emotion because we're getting leaks even now. I mean, the latest leak to a journalist is that there's going to be some sort of expose of a conspiracy to point out that they're not following the rule of law. Well, good luck if they try and tie me up in some sort of conspiracy. Or this KC who weighed in over the weekend, who I actually had never spoken to before yesterday. So good luck to saying that we're involved in some sort of
coup.
The reason we're saying you're not following the rule of law is because it's visible. It's totally visible.
Yeah.
And you can tell how silly it was to begin with. They started out by targeting the Privy Councillors.
Yeah.
Well, so when we used to have tyrants, and we used to not have the rule of law, and we gradually sort of created it in this country. And as we clawed it back, we took away powers from our tyrant, which was the king. And the king was a tyrant. You go back to William the Conqueror, the man's a total tyrant. Doing anything he doesn't like will get you killed. No laws, no consistency. You just have to please the king. You know, I went on a holiday, a stag party to Wales, and we stayed in a castle, and there was an oubliette. So in the 12th century, if the Lord of the Manor didn't like you, or you'd done anything that irritated him, or he just fancied throwing you in the oubliette, he threw you in the oubliette and you didn't come out. Eventually, we started to think, hang on a second, shouldn't we have some rules about who goes in the
Stop throwing random people in.
And who doesn't? And that's what we mean by creating the rule of law, the rule of the consistent application of rules. And we took all these powers away from the king. Now, one of the very few things we've left the king, sort of before we could totally emasculate these monarchs,
Yeah.
is we left him his Privy Council. It is
Right.
His Majesty's most noble Privy Council. It is to advise him, and it's for him to discipline his Privy Councillors.
Ah.
It is not for Parliament or for Harriet Harman
To
to
discipline them.
start telling off his Privy Councillors. So that, again, is just a massive constitutional blunder. Why even do that? They didn't have to. They could have said, we'll discipline all MPs. And if they disciplined all MPs, you'd be like, well, a parliamentary committee might be the proper place to discipline all MPs. But to single out the Privy Councillors, that's just constitutionally inept. Okay, and I'm not involved. I haven't talked to anybody else about the fact that that is constitutionally inept. I'm not involved in some sort of conspiracy to point out that they keep making mistake after mistake after mistake. But this is another mistake. Well done, committee. This is embarrassing now.
Wow, that was Stephen Barrett, the barrister. Thank you so much for coming on the show again, Stephen. And I will be publishing the full interview, the exclusive interview with Barrett later on the channel. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Mahyar Tousi, and we are the media.